Hey, everybody. We are less than a week away now from a celebration of women's sports presented by Bayard Wealth Management, the Barry Group. And today I have with me our speaker for June 5th, Jordan Larson. Jordan, thanks for coming on and chatting with me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Really looking forward to being down there next week. And yeah, just really excited.
So, for everybody who doesn't know, I know you because I'm a big Nebraska Husker fan, but and that we have a big following here in Wichita of Husker fans. But give people a little bit of background about who you are.
Yeah, I grew up in a small town here in Nebraska, dreamed big of playing for the Huskers, went on to play for the Huskers from '05 to '09. God, it seems so long ago. And then have been playing professionally ever since, but got to live out my dream of playing for the Big Red, and it was really an honor. Yeah.
So now, you have a lot more in there that we can cover in just a minute, but you earned a nickname in
Yes.
Nebraska while at Nebraska, the Governor. How'd that come about?
Yeah, so I was actually in Thailand with the national team, and one of my teammates is Faluka. She was one of my really good friends. There was a guy at the end of the game, and he's waving his hand, and he was a Husker fan, and she's like telling this story to her brother, and he's like, "Well, duh, she's like the governor," and so then she just started calling me it, and then as a joke, I started answering, and so then it's just stuck, and now it's become a thing, and so it's kind of funny now. People are kind of like coming up to me and like, "Governor," and then I actually met the governor of Nebraska, and he called me. I was just like, "No, no, no, you're the real
Uh,
governor." So it's kind of a running joke, but it's been a fun thing to kind of get behind. So
yeah, that's fun because in some of the posts I've seen promoting this, I was like, "Oh, the Gov's coming!" So
yeah,
yeah,
I love
that's
it.
been
No,
funny.
it's great. Yeah, very cool.
So, so as part of this event, Athletes Unlimited, the softball league is going to be there and handing out promotional items. They're coming the 7th to do their league, and you were a part of Athletes Unlimited at one point too, and you were their first champion.
Absolutely, yes. It was a really fun organization. It was during COVID, so it allowed a lot of us to be able to play volleyball at home for one of the first times for me and ever, I mean, besides college, but professionally. So, yeah, really excited for them to be kicking off a season down there. And it was a great organization to be a part of, and obviously very honored to have won the first ever season for them. And it's just cool to also see the momentum of that, keep going. So.
And since then, you have, well, I guess probably with prior to then and after, you have been on some Olympic teams and you helped the U.S. women's volleyball win their first gold medal. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I made my first Olympic team in 2012. We walked away with a silver. Uh, Probably thought I was going to retire. Decided to come out in 2016 again. Made my second Olympic team. We walked away with the bronze. Bittersweet. And then I was going to try one more time, and we ended up walking away with the gold. So it was really icing on the cake. And obviously, for USA Volleyball to do it the first time in history is something to be said. And then I thought I really was going to retire, and then I decided to go for one more. So added another silver to the collection, and Paris was just a really nice highlight and fun to be a part of. So it's been a long career, but very, very lucky. And but yeah, that gold was something real special.
And now you are part of the League One volleyball. Talk a little bit about that. I know your season didn't end quite the way you wanted it to, but still a great
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think being home and being so close to home again, it's like my family get to be there and like be present, and it's really means so much. And yeah, just to see the momentum of volleyball. I mean, the Nebraska volleyball in the state is huge, but I think also now they're understanding the pro life behind it, and so I think it's really cool to see what's happening, and to be a part of it for the first time is really special. And so I'm just excited to see how the sport continues to evolve, and League One is doing such a great job.
I can't believe I about forgot about this, but you were an assistant coach with the Nebraska volleyball team last year, and this event is about celebrating women's sports, and I think Nebraska showed that they can do that by filling up Memorial Stadium. Was it 90,000 plus for that
Yes.
event? You were a part of that. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Right. Nebraska is doing such a great job of celebrating women's sports. You look at Nebraska, just women's sports in general, right? Their softball team, basketball team, volleyball team, obviously, like doing a good job of kind of moving the needle. And yeah, I think it's just really cool. I think nationally, like people are just investing in women's sports, and it's fun to be a part of it and see the progression, And I think like I'm glad it's happening, and it's really cool to see, and I can only imagine how much more it's going to continue to evolve as well.
I know selfishly, I was really wanting Nebraska to beat Tennessee and then end up, down the road in the finals. Because to have you here and then the big Nebraska following, I think the venue definitely would have been packed to do like a Nebraska watch party. But
Absolutely, I
they've
know
had quite the
they
season.
were so close there to get there. Yeah, and obviously Jordy Ball coming back and obviously doing great things, and then yeah, I mean they were so close. So I can only imagine that with one more year under their belt, they're going to do something big. So I say like watch out. There's more to come for sure.
Now, turning the page a little bit, talk about some of the stuff that you're going to be highlighting when you come here and speak on June 5th.
Yeah, just I'm going to be talking a little bit about my life story. While from the outside, it's looked quite long and historic. It's been a great career, but I think with anything, there comes failure as well, and learning what failure recovery is, and like when things don't go your way, like how do you overcome them. And I learned a lot like through my career. There's like little stories throughout my career that have been huge and monumental to me. And I'm also opening up to the audience a lot for questions and anything that they have coming in, but hopefully giving a little backstory of my life and all that's to come will add some questions, and I hopefully can answer them for them.
Very good. And so, I told you a little bit as we talked before this, this was spurred between my daughter and I having a conversation. What is some advice you would give young girls today looking to advance not only in sports, but basically in anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think setting any type of goal, right? I think we often think of like, oh, okay, I want to be an Olympian. It seems almost like too far to like even think about, right? But what are the mini goals that you can set daily of, hey, I got out of bed today. I made my bed today. I ate well today. I got really good sleep. How is my recovery going? Like there's a lot of little mini goals that can happen for you to achieve a long-term goal. And so I think it just starts with one step, and can you continue to make those steps? And I think that we're often life is a game of decisions. It's the same thing in volleyball. Volleyball is a game of decisions, and like you're gonna have, do I want to go hang out with my friends, or do I want to get better at the sport that I hope to dream about playing? And so I think it's finding the balance of what that is, and learning that there's going to come sacrifices, and how much are you willing to sacrifice to be where you want to be, and hope where you want to go. So, but I think it takes little increment steps here and there. So.
Very good. All right, Jordan, we look forward to seeing you on June 5th at NAFSCR Park. Everybody, if you want to learn more, go to wichita.gov/celebrate, and we will see you then.